Hi guys, so welcome to my channel. So this first video, I'm going to be talking about how I got straight A's my first semester at USC. And it's going to be more geared towards online learning because everything was moved towards online teaching on Zoom and everything because of COVID. And there's so much more to doing well and being happy in college, but I'm just going to cover some of the more general ideas, what I think are really important the first semester. But let me know if you'd like me to elaborate on any points. So at the moment, I am a human biology major at pre-med. I'm going to be looking down a bit because my laptop is where I put all my notes, so please ignore my awkward eye movements. So the very first step of just setting yourself for success is to have a system to organize your tasks and your assignments and deadlines. So the way I see it was I separated it into this two-part system. So first I used Todoist to set up all my daily tasks and all my assignments that I had to do on a daily basis. Like I have to complete this practice test, I have to finish this writing assignment or this reading by Wednesday or by Thursday. So that would be listed on a Todoist app, whereas I use Google Calendar to have more time-committing schedule things like classes, exams, or like club meetings or office hours. So I would have that a specific time blocked out throughout my weekly schedule for those commitments. And so the times that I don't have those commitments, I can use that time to complete the task on my Todoist. And if you have all these assignments from all these different classes and you don't know some deadlines overlap, so Google Calendar is like this nice visual way for you to see what you need to prioritize first. So I'll definitely do another more in-depth video of how I organize my Todoist and how I organize Google Calendar. And the next point that this brings me to is that you really want to set up your internal deadline. So say the assignment isn't due until Monday, but then tell yourself that you're going to do it on Friday and just finish it on Friday so you don't have to do it on the weekend. So if you're actually late on completing an assignment, you're not actually late because it's your own deadline. You actually have till Monday. So the second step that I focused on was to build a routine for work. So what I mean by this is that if you keep practicing in the same time and place, what once took conscious thought to initiate becomes automatic. So you no longer need that willpower every day to get your work done because it's something that you do automatically. It's already a habit of yours. So every day you don't have to be like, I just need to like gather this willpower, this motivation to start my essay or start doing this practice test, because it's already a part of who you are and it's part of what you already do. It's your routine. So you're just like, I'm just gonna do it because I do it. So I don't need to have that extra external thing that I'm waiting for to motivate me. So what I like to do is that I wake up every morning at around like 5 to 6 a.m. and I just get straight to work after I brush my teeth. And it could just be like 30 minutes or an hour of work without checking my phone or like emails or anything, just getting work done. In the morning you have a really fresh mind, so like doing work in the beginning is a really nice way to start your day. An important step for this is that the night before you want to set up what you want to do in the morning. When you start in the morning, you can get right to the task and you don't have to decide, what am I going to do this morning, or like, I have to do all the steps before I can actually get the work done. So the night before, when you're tired and you don't feel like doing anything, just set up what you're going to do in the morning. So like if I want to do a practice test in the morning, I'll have that downloaded on my laptop ready to go. So as soon as I open my laptop, I can just do it and I don't have to worry about, I have to go on Blackboard, I have to find this link, I have to download it, and then I have to save this and I have to like reopen it when I wake up. Just take all of those like little barriers out of the way so it makes it that much easier for you to just get your work started. So then another thing about building a routine, so everyone has their own routine, but the routine that I really enjoy is to really have my workouts and my lunch breaks or like meals or snacks or anything as ways to like break up my work times. So like my really productive times I noticed was in the mornings, before a workout, after a workout, before a meal, and also right before I sleep. And you really have like, you just worked 3 hours on an essay and you just need a break. Use those breaks to like do something active, like do laundry, clean the floors, wash your dishes, work out. You can stretch, you can meditate, kind of like mindless tasks, but still kind of active tasks, but it's a way for your brain to still kind of be active, but also resting at the same time. So the third step is you want to have a consistent sleep schedule. What I do is I really like to wake up really early, like I mentioned in my routine, because that allows for me to be very productive because I'm just an early morning, early bird person. So as the day goes on, we have increased difficulty exerting self-control and focusing on our work. As self-control wears out, we feel tired and find tasks to be more difficult and our mood sour. In the morning, it's just easier for you to do harder work and it takes less willpower and less effort to do that hard work than if you were to do it at like 9 p.m. or like at midnight, because it just takes that much more out of you than if you were to do it in the morning. So that's why I really like to wake up early and prioritize that like clarity that I have in the morning and just take advantage of that. So if you're not a morning person at the moment but you want to be, a good step that I took was that just set your alarm to be like 5 minutes earlier every single day. So like say first I'm going to set my alarm at 7 a.m. tomorrow, and the next day it's going to be 6:55, and then it's going to be 6:50, and then 6:45, and on, and then eventually your sleep schedule will naturally shift a bit earlier, and then you can wake up without an alarm or wake up like 5 minutes before your alarm because it's such a routine. So another book that I want to mention is called Why We Sleep. So then in this book there's loads of research on sleep and how it helps with your mental clarity, your memory, and your cognitive function, and that could be an entire whole video, and I'll link the book down below for more information. So you want to sleep at the same time every day because it just makes it easier for you to get your work done and for you to get a good routine down and for you to prioritize what you find most important. So you don't want to sleep really late one night and wake up really early the next day because that can really affect your whole sleep schedule, because maybe you're just losing 2 hours of your sleep, which is around like 25% of like your entire sleep night, but then you actually lose like 75% of your sleep quality. Having a good sleep schedule allows you to have maximum quality and allows you to be very productive throughout the day, and will have enough energy, have a normal eating routine, and just have enough energy to work out and do all the things that you want to do. So the 3 best times for learning is shortly after waking, right before you go to bed, and approximately halfway in between. And these times are really good for you to learn really hard materials, or you take in really hard material that requires a lot of brain effort, because it's the best time that your brain is able to really consolidate those memories and those new learning information. And you can read more about it in the book, The Owner's Manual for the Brain. So the 4th thing I have here is to eat well. So this is a relatively simple step. So you want to eat well because proper nutrition fuels your brain, and that allows you to perform best studying. It allows you to perform best when you're doing exams. It allows you to perform best when you're writing essays. A really easy way to do this is to prep healthy foods ahead of time. So you can cook some vegetables, cook eggs, make some food, or whatever food that you like ahead of time, cut fruits. So then when you're hungry and you need just a short little break, you can just conveniently go get that snack or eat that meal instead of wasting all that time being inefficient throughout your day. When you do actually cook your food and prep your food, you can use this time to like listen to music, call a friend, call your family member, or like listen to a podcast, and just use it as an active break for you to just step aside from schoolwork, but then also be productive. The 5th step is to instill a very successful mindset. The first step that I took was to approach exams as kind of like a game that you're playing and that you want to win in. It's a way for you to show off all the hard work that you put in practice. So in practice would be like studying for the test, or like taking notes, or like rewriting notes, or reading the textbook. That's like your practice time. So it's equivalent to like going into practice for volleyball and then doing really well in your volleyball game. If you see it as a game, the test is like an opportunity for you to show off all the hard work that you put in during your practice time. The more tests you have, the more classes that you have, the more assignments that you have, those are more opportunities for you to get A's on your class, more for you to get higher GPA, for you to raise your GPA. It's more opportunities. So you see exams as an opportunity to succeed, an opportunity to do well. Okay, so the next mindset is that motivation is a myth. So this is actually from the book Motivation is a Myth, and what it says is that you should enjoy small, seemingly minor successes on a regular basis because it allows you to cultivate motivation, and motivation is something that you get from yourself and feeling good about achieving small successes. The main point of this book is that motivation comes after that you perform something and after you've done that action, instead of the other way around where you wait around for motivation to come before you do the action. So it's actually doing the action first. So real motivation comes from after you start. So you just really need that momentum to get started. And once you get started and you make progress, you'll be like, oh my God, I'm actually doing well in this. I'm gonna keep going. That's what keeps you to get good grades or like do well in school, or just literally anything in life. Another thing is that sometimes in college it can seem that all the tasks or little assignments that you're doing is kind of meaningless. So a way to look at this is that every practice you do or every textbook chapter that you read every day, that takes you one step closer to being who you want to become. That's just another task that you get to do, and it's part of the process. You really enjoy the process of success and not just focusing on the outcome. Like the outcome would be like getting an A on this exam, but the whole process was like studying and like reading the chapter and finishing your notes on time. That was part of the process, and each time that you completed that on a daily basis, that was a small minor success that you should just, be grateful for. So the 3rd step to have a successful mindset is to be really grateful for the opportunities that you have in college or in school. In the book, The Happiness Advantage, it really emphasizes the fact that challenges should be seen as opportunities that you're fortunate enough to encounter, and when you complete them, it takes you one step closer to the thing that you desire. So in this book, it says, students who are more likely to be stressed, have depression, or have poor grades will focus on the workload, small setbacks, and their futures instead of seeing these challenges as a privilege. learning was seen as a chore, and this led them to neglect opportunities. So when you see learning as something like that I have to do or that I need to do instead of something that you get to do as a privilege, it just makes it that much harder for you to complete and makes it that much harder for you to do well in and actually enjoy the process of learning, because learning is truly a privilege. So instead of saying that, oh, I have to go to class, I have to do the assignment, change that perspective. I get to go to class, I get to do well in this test, I get to take this class that would lead me for me to go to medical school and for me to become a doctor, for me to do this. So it just takes you to that next step. So the next step I have is to over-prepare for your test. So what I mean by this is that when you use really good study techniques like active recall, rewriting notes in an organized way that allows you to make these connections, studying with a friend, or like creating summary notes that allows you to summarize everything in the unit for that exam, to reorganize your thoughts. All these study techniques are really good ways for you to prepare for tests, and I can do a whole other video about study techniques and how you can best utilize active recall. But the most important thing about this is that when you over-prepare for a test, it allows you to be very confident in that test. And when you're really confident in that test, it allows you to do well. And when you do this from the start, it allows you to get off to a good start. So the whole semester, you're not trying to catch up, you're just trying to maintain your grade. Next, you want to ask questions and to email and talk to your professors. So just make sure that they know that you are a student in their class. So even simple questions in the beginning of the semester, just emailing them to your professors show that you care. Like, oh, what is this assignment? Or like, can you elaborate on what this assignment is? Or will textbook material that wasn't covered on lecture slides be on exams? Just simple questions like that just shows that the professor that you really want to do well in that class, and he will help you do well in that class because you want to as well. So in terms of writing classes, if you always go to office hours and show that you put in a lot of time in thinking about how you can improve each essay and putting a lot of time in how you take that feedback that your professor gives you, then your professor will reflect that in your grade, and she will show that maybe this essay was like a B in the beginning, but then later on in your next essays you gradually become an A or an A plus because you put in so much work and your professor saw that you put that much work in. The next thing you want to do is that you want to set your own deadlines. So this allows you to be very productive because when you do the work the day it's assigned, you save that time of like having to go back on the material and reviewing that material because it was like a week ago. So for example, if you have a lab assignment, do it right after your lab because you don't have to review the lab material a week later and have to relearn the information because it's already fresh in your mind. And when you put a time limit to the task that you're doing, it creates this like sense of urgency for you to do it. And you're like, oh, I have to get this done within an hour, so I will get it done in an hour. It's 5 p.m. right now and I need to write an essay, or I need to write a draft of my essay because I only have around an hour and a half until my dinner plan. When you set that time deadline for yourself, it allows you to mentally push yourself and allows you to create this urgency like, oh, I need to get it done because I don't have time afterwards. Then you will actually get it done, and it actually ends up taking much shorter time than you expected to take. And this idea of deadlines making you more productive is from the 4-Hour Work Week, which is also an amazing book by Tim Ferriss. So another really important step in this is to find a friend. Even if it's only like 1 or 2 really close friends, that can be really valuable because it allows you to set up these really structured study schedules, holds you accountable for studying, and allows you to like verbalize your notes, teach other, bounce off ideas, and then that way you can find out what you don't know, and then they can help you learn that, or the other way around, you can help teach them what they don't know. This just helps consolidate your ideas and memorization even better. And so this is really important for classes that require a lot of memorization, like biology, because there's so much concepts and so much facts in there that it's hard to organize unless you're talking to someone else that you can really like learn those materials together. And in that way, you can also share like the issues that you're going through for the class and just have that social support that is so valuable and just makes studying and doing college so much easier and so much more fun. So lastly, you don't want to overwhelm yourself your very first semester of college. This is a year that's so transitional. You're learning how to be on your own. You have to learn to do all these things that you never did before. At the same time, take all these college classes that you've never learned before as well. You want to focus on adjusting to the workload that college classes require. And it's not that much more difficult per se, it's more just a lot higher work volume, so it takes a lot more time management. So you want to build in those skills first before taking really challenging classes that take a lot more out of you. Okay, so these are some of the steps that I've compiled so far after my first semester of college. I hope this video added some value to your life or some value to your studying or how you see college, or if you're approaching college soon. I really hope that you enjoyed this video. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching again.